Paramahamsa Nithyananda, a rare living incarnation, is named among the world's 100 most spiritually influential personalities today. Paramahamsa Nithyananda has been placed alongside Dalai Lama, Nelson Mandela, Oprah Winfrey, Paulo Coelho and others by Mind, Body, Spirit, the world's top esoteric magazine from Watkins, London's oldest and largest bookstore. A yogi by birth, he has been expressing his power of enlightenment since birth. He has authored more than 500 books in Tamil and English. Translations of these books are available in 26 languages in Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Hindi, Sanskrit, Gujarati, Oriya, Bengali, Marathi, French, Malay, Polish, Portuguese, Italian, German, Danish, Spanish, Russian and Chinese. He is also an exemplary speaker with over 10,000 hours of profound life solutions through his discourses. Social services such as Annadan, free medical care, free educational services with ashrams, schools, temples, hospitals established in more than 140 places around the world, offering exceptional services. A powerful spiritual healer who has healed millions of people of diseases from migraine to cancer. A Kriya Yogi who has formulated Kriyas for physical health and mental well-being, benefiting thousands. A living master who offers practical solutions for our everyday problems. He is the founder and spiritual head of Nithyananda Dhyanapeetham, a spiritual powerhouse who has revived the sacred Vedic tradition by establishing Vedic temples in places like Los Angeles, San Jose, Seattle, Toronto, Ohio, Oklahoma, Phoenix, St. Louis, Malaysia, Brazil, Paris, Guadeloupe, Dallas, New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, Calgary, Vancouver, Singapore and places in India like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Tiruvannamalai. A spiritual guru for 10 million followers, an incarnation who transmits the highest spiritual energy through initiation, a contemporary yogi who has revived the Vedic science of yoga worldwide through thousands of yoga centers, an adept in Ashtamahasiddhis, mystical yogic powers, who has effortlessly awakened the Kundalini of thousands and graced them with spiritual powers, a dynamic young guru who is an inspiration for thousands of youngsters, India's most watched spiritual guru online, a beacon of spiritual light who has triumphed over the forces of religious terrorism and political persecution. Paramahamsa Nithyananda is an eternal Kalpataru, blessing the world with the boons of material abundance and spiritual enlightenment. He is the 293rd Pontiff of the world's most ancient Hindu organization, Madurai Adinam.
Nithyanandaya swagatam, anandanubhavaswadam, sarvaroga nivarakam, vande papa vinashaktam. Nithyanandaya swagatam, nityamuktam nirvikalpam, dhyanaloka pradipakam, vande shantamayam bandham. Nithyanandaya swagatam, anandagandha sancharam, sarvopadri vinir.
The main frame of my teaching is this three ajapa, strong feeling connection and complete unclutching. That's all. Sada Shiva Samarambam Jnana Sambandhacharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Varyantam Vande Guru Paramparam.
This teaching or this technique is the product, outcome of 5,000 years of research and development done by 1 million scientists, inner scientists, the inner world scientists, in more than 10 million inner science laboratories. And the technology itself is followed by 1 billion people around the globe. So the unclutching is the technology, or it is the product of the great spiritual tradition, what we call Vedic tradition. It is the essence of the inner science. It is the essence of eternal wisdom, eternal truths. This unclutching or be unclutched is one of the great technology, one of the great technique created by these mystics, the inner scientists. All the masters who appeared on the planet Earth agree on one point. That one point is, by your very nature, you are bliss. By your very nature, you are in bliss. Your nature is eternal bliss. Somehow, in this one point, every master, every mystic agrees. Then it must be a basic truth. It must be the eternal truth. So it must be the Sanatana, means eternal, ever present. Ever present. That must be the reason why all the mystics and masters agree on this one message. When I say be unclutched, I mean experience the true nature of your being, which is eternal bliss. As on now, all our difficulties, all our problems are just because of our clutching. The basic truth is the identity which you are showing to the outer world and the identity which you are showing to the inner world. Identity which you project to the outer world and make others believe, and the identity which you project to yourself and what you believe as you. You are beyond these two identities. You are beyond the identity which you are showing to the outer world and the identity which you are showing to yourself. When you unclutch from these two identities, you start experiencing the eternal bliss. First thing we need to understand, the identity which we are showing to the outer world and the identity which we are carrying in the inside and believing as we, both are lies. The identity which you show to the outer world and the identity which you show to yourself, both are the thoughts selected randomly, illogically, unconnected way and clutched into a shaft. Understand? The identity which you are showing to the outer world, which will be always something more than what you are. Because from the beginning, your schools, colleges, universities and society teaches you how to sell yourself, how to market yourself. Constantly you are an utility. So naturally you have to show to the outer world something more than what is. So the ahamkar, that's what we call in Sanskrit, the identity which you show to the outer world, it will be always more than what you are. And the mamakar, the identity which you show to the inner world, to yourself, it will be always less than what you are. Constantly you carry a guilt, you carry low self-esteem, and you chisel, you work on yourself. We do not accept as we are. Constantly you carry a guilt, and constantly you carry a low self-esteem. Every self-esteem which you carry is low self-esteem. Whatever you believe as you is a lie. You are something more than, much more than what you project to the outer world and what you project to yourself. When you unclutch, you will realize the truth. What you thought as you, your identity, whatever you thought as you, is nothing but few thoughts randomly, illogically picked up from the huge thought waves which is raising in you and connected in a very illogical way, clutched in a illogical way, and you carry that identity and project to the outer world, sometime project to yourself and start believing it as you. For example, if you have 1 million thoughts in your mind, you just pick up a few thoughts in a very random way, clutch them and start believing in those thoughts. Start thinking you are that, your past is that, your life is that, and your identity is that. I can show few examples, few understanding. The sufferings, the pains which you had 10 years ago, pains which you had 9 years ago, the pains which you had 8 years ago, pains which you had 7 years ago, they are all independent, unconnected incidents. Happened due to different reason, a different situation, different purpose, different space, at different time. But mentally, for your reference sake, you archive all these experiences in one file. Usually you archive all these experiences in one file. Archiving is nothing wrong. But by and by, you start believing that they are all connected. First, you archive them for utility's sake, utility reason. When you start believing them, all these pains which has happened in your life is connected. You come to a decision, your life is pain. Your life is a suffering. The moment you come to a decision, my life is a pain, my life is a suffering, you have created hell for you. We have created hell for ourselves. One more thing, when you strongly start believing your last 10 years was filled with depression, filled with suffering, now you created a mental setup. Naturally, you will start believing your future is also going to be pain and depression. If you connect all the sufferings of your life and create a shaft of pain, my life is pain, my life is depression, you have created hell for you. You forget the beautiful, wonderful moments happened many times again and again between these sufferings. When you start believing in pain shaft, you forget the joyful moments which happened in your life. Like a million thought is there, 1,000,000 thoughts. In that, you pick up only 10 thoughts, clutch them, create a shaft, and you start believing these small 10 thoughts or the clutch shaft is the representation of million thoughts. Your life is filled with millions of experiences. But when you pluck few painful experiences randomly, which is independent, illogical, unconnected, and clutch them and create a shaft, when you start believing this shaft is the representation of your past, my past is pain, my past is depression, my past is suffering, my past was suffering. When you start believing, you have created hell for you. Your faith, your belief, your understanding about your past plays a major role in designing and creating your future. If you strongly believe your life was pain, your life was suffering, naturally you will strongly believe your future is going to be pain, going to be suffering. As on now, we never trust we can run our life without fear or greed, without the identity which we are carrying. The identity which you show to the outer world will be always based on fear. That is why you project always more than what is. And the identity which you carry in the inner world is based on greed. That is why you always try to develop the identity which you are carrying in you. The identity which you carry in you and believe as you, it will be based on greed. You will be constantly chiseling, working on it. The identity which you show to the outer world will be based on fear. Constantly you will be trying to keep it alive, keep it as you want. But both identities are myth. Both are lies. You are something beyond these two identities. When you understand, both identities are not needed to live your life, to run your life, to run, protect and expand your life, you suddenly realize the tremendous freedom. You can be alive without these two identities. Freedom from these two identities is what I call liberation, enlightenment, moksha and nirvana. Whatever word you may use, it is nothing but liberation from these two identities. These two identities are the bondage.
Nitya Kriya, restoring Hatha Yoga to the world. A series of healing yogic processes revealed by Paramahamsa Nithyananda to care and cure for diseases and disorders. Practice Nitya Kriya and awaken your Kundalini energy. To find out more, visit www.nithyananda.org/nitya-kriyas.
Any thought rises in your inner space, decide you are not going to support that thought, you are not going to destroy that thought, you are not going to encourage that thought, you are not going to create a new thought without creating, maintaining, destroying. Sit. when you don't do the job of creation, maintenance and destruction, you become one with existence. Unclutch from every thought. Don't miss a single thought in your inner space. Don't be unconscious. Unclutch from every thought. When thought rises in you, just decide, I am not going to support it, encourage it. I'll just unclutch from it. I'll just distance myself from it. Just a simple will. I will unclutch is enough. The thought will lose power over you. After a few seconds, again some other thought may come. Unclutch from that thought also. Slowly, 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 after a few minutes, except the thought of unclutching, nothing else will be there. Unclutch from that thought also. Unclutch even from the technique of unclutching. When you unclutch honestly, authentically, automatically your Kundalini energy rises, your Kundalini is awakened, and your body may levitate. Whatever happens, let it happen. Unclutch from everything. Just be unclutched. I sincerely recommend all of you, if you are a beginner, at least spend 20 minutes per day in unclutching. If you already tasted unclutching, intensify the quality of unclutching and increase the time of unclutching in your life. Unclutching is the purest form of meditation. Unclutching is the purest samadhi. When you are unclutching, you save yourself from thousands of problems, self-created sufferings, and you save the country from the crime caste. When you unclutch, you are neither violent towards yourself nor violent towards others. When you are not violent towards yourself, you bring peace and bliss to you. When you are not violent to others, you save crime caste of the country. When you unclutch, you bring the best things to your life, and you bring the best things to your country. You bring the best things to your society. You bring the best things to the whole humanity. So I invite all of you to meditate, unclutch, save the planet Earth.
By your very nature, you are unconnected, illogical, independent, unclutched thoughts. If you just do a simple experiment, very simple experiment, just 10 minutes, sit and pen down whatever thoughts goes on in your mind. When you are alone, just sit, do not edit. There is no need to edit, it is just for you. It's an experiment for you. Just pen down for 10 minutes whatever goes on in your head. As it goes on, it's like a visualize, as if a transcribing software is connected to you. How the transcribing software will transcribe everything. Just like that, 10 minutes, transcribe whatever is going on in your mind. And read that paper only once, you will understand what I meant. You are nothing but unconnected, illogical, independent, unclutched thoughts. For example, if you see a dog in the street, suddenly you will remember the dogs about which you used to be afraid or with which you used to play when you were young. Your pet dog or about the dogs which you used to be afraid of. You will remember the dogs with which you lived when you were young. The next thought will be thoughts about your childhood days. Third, the teacher under whom you studied when you were a child. Fourth, the place where the teacher used to stay. You can see the thoughts flowing. There is no logical connection between the dog which you saw in the street and the teacher under whom you studied. But in few seconds, you just ripped it away. The whatever shaft you created, the life is a pain or life is a joy, that shaft is not the representation or the representative of your past. That is not totality of you. That is not the totality of you. Let you understand. You pick up thoughts in a very random way and connect them, clutch them and create a shaft. Let me give you a small diagram. Then you will understand how we clutch and create and suffer with our shafts. It's a simple diagram to understand how the thoughts flow in our being and how we connect them. It's like each thought is a one square or a rectangle. They don't even have to be in a proper shape because thoughts are not in proper shape. Like these thoughts are flowing in you. Just thoughts are moving. Maybe this thought is related to pain, painful experience. This thought may be related to joy, joyful experience. This may be joy, but which you will be naming as pain. You can call it as JP, joy pain. This you can call it as PJ, which is pain, but you think as joy. Many times you name pain as joy and joy as pain. Something goes on in you. Maybe this is again joy. This is again pain. This is the way the thoughts are flowing in you. Understand, they are all completely unclutched, illogical, independent and unconnected. But for your understanding, archival purpose, you connect all the painful thoughts and create an idea. You pick up all these painful thoughts and create an idea. My life was depression. My life was pain. You create pain shaft. Pain shaft is created. The moment you create a pain shaft, your life is hell. Because after the pain shaft is created, whatever goes on in the conveyor belt, you will not bother. You will pick up only the painful incidents and again confirm what you believe. Please understand, we do not listen to the arguments and pass judgment. We collect arguments to support our judgment. Our life is not collecting arguments and passing judgment. Our life is, we have already ready-made judgment. We just collect arguments to support our judgment. So if you decide, if you already decided, pass the judgment, your life is a pain, your life is suffering, your life is depression, then you will be just waiting to get more and more arguments to strengthen the judgment which you have made, which you already created. Sometimes, rarely, you may create the joy shaft, connecting all these joyful thoughts. You may create joy shaft, means you may start believing life is a joy. Again, even if you create a shaft, life is a joy, you will create an idea that there is some object which gives you the joy. There is some object which is reason for the joy, and you will try to hang around that object. Object or a person or an incident or a space. You may identify your joy with an object or a person or a space, with something. Now you will try again and again to bring that back in your life, to bring that person or to bring that space, to bring that same incident, to bring that same in your life again and again. Anything when you try to bring it again and again will not give you the same excitement as it gave you the first time. So all your identity which you show to the outer world and the identity which you show to yourself, both are nothing but clutched thoughts. If you believe and create the pain shaft, naturally you will be trying to break the pain shaft, because who wants to live in pain? Or if you believe and created the joy shaft in your life, naturally you will try to elongate, extend that shaft, because everybody wants joy to be there. But understand one thing, you can neither break a shaft nor elongate a shaft, because the shaft does not exist. It is purely your myth, the myth created by you. The mind which you carry is a myth created by you. Mind is a myth. That is the ultimate truth. Whatever you think as you and whatever you project as you, the identity which you show to the outer world and the identity which you show to yourself. One more thing, both will be always in conflict with each other. The identity which you show to the outer world and the identity which you carry as you, both will be constantly fighting. More the gap between these two, the more tension will be in you. More the gap between these two, the more the tension. Tension is nothing but the gap between the identity which you are showing to the outer world and the identity which you are showing to yourself. The uneasiness or the diseasiness between these two identities is disease. The diseasiness between these two identities is what I call disease. All we need to understand is, by our very nature, we are unconnected, illogical, independent, unclutched thoughts. The more you understand this truth, the more you will experience the moksha, liberation. When you understand the identity which you are carrying is lie, suddenly you will realize the truth that you are beyond these two identities. The identity which you show to the outer world and the identity which you show to yourself. You are beyond these two. One more thing. The beauty of this truth, you don't even have to do anything. Just understand, you are already unclutched. You do not have to achieve this truth. All you need to do is understanding you are already unclutched and stop creating new shafts. That's all. By your very nature, you are unclutched. Like a bubbles, water bubbles from the fish tank. If you see the water bubbles from the fish tank, because the cap is too small, you think all the bubbles are connected to each other, but they are not. Each bubble is an individual, unconnected, illogical, independent and unclutched bubbles. Because the cap is too small, you think all those bubbles are connected. Same way, in our mind, the thoughts, every thought is independent, illogical, unconnected and unclutched. Because the gap between two thoughts is too small, the neutral space between the two thoughts is too small, you think all the thoughts are connected and it is in the shaft form. Between every thought you experience a neutral space. You experience a neutral space between every thoughts. Between every thought. That neutral space, that silence is what I call peace or bliss. When you understand you are unconnected, independent, illogical and unclutched, by your very nature, you will start experiencing the neutral space in you, neutral space which exists in you. You will start living from moment to moment in spontaneity. We need to understand one more thing. This technique of be unclutched, it does miracles in your being, in the body level, or in the mental level, or in the being level. In every level, when you understand the truth, by your very nature, you are unclutched. The tremendous quantum transformation. You take a quantum jump, the transformation happens in quantum, not step by step. Just on jump. You take a quantum jump and experience the truth awakening in you.
Dial the avatar. Paramahamsa Nithyananda answers your questions live during the daily morning satsang every day at 7:30 a.m. Indian Standard Time. We invite you to directly talk to Swamiji and receive his blessings for your life to be filled with bliss and all the auspiciousness. Dial the avatar at 918027279999 extension 129.
Few basic truths about life. Few basic sacred secrets about life. What is life? What for life? More and more you try to seek answers for these questions, you become seeker. More and more you try to answer these questions for others, you become philosopher. But these questions remain untouched forever, because each one has to discover the answer inside them for these questions. For the outer world, comforts. You don't need to reinvent whatever is already invented. You can use the same thing. But for the inner world enlightenment, you need to discover your religion individually and independently. These questions, what for life is, what is life, what for life, these questions raise the intensity of life in you, brings authenticity to your living. I discovered answers to these questions inside me. But I will not do the mistake of giving you answer. I'll give you the process through which you can discover the answer within yourself. Please understand, if I give you the answer, it will not be your own answer. Any philosophy given ready-made, like a teaspoon feeding, is not going to become part of you, is not going to be enlightening you. It may be a philosophy, it may be a bookish knowledge, maybe you can be like a librarian sitting with it, but it is not going to become part of your life. My answer to this question, what is life, what for life, will no way be useful for you. You need to find your own answer. I can only give you the process. The process I am offering to all of you to find answers for the basic questions of life is unclutching. One day early morning, like intuition, suddenly this word has flowered in me as a Mahavagya. Mahavagya means the ultimate truth, the ultimate statement. Please understand, this word, unclutching, is the ultimate spiritual truth. This process, unclutching, can directly upgrade your very consciousness. I'll present unclutching as a technique, method to upgrade your consciousness, raising your inner space. When you upgrade your consciousness, raise your inner space, become more authentic, hundreds of good side effects happen, like you become healthy, you become wealthy, you become a leader, you become more intelligent, you become more balanced. Thousands of things happen in you as the side effect of upgrading your consciousness. Understand these three words, then you will be able to catch the truth of unclutching. Clutching, disclutching, unclutching. Clutching, disclutching, unclutching. Clutching means, holding, getting attached. Disclutching means completely getting disconnected, breaking. Unclutching means moving back to clutch any time when it is needed. Understand? When you shift your gears, you need to unclutch. Disclutching won't work. Disclutching means it can be breaking. Even if the gearbox breaks, if the gears break, if the shaft breaks, disclutching can happen. But after the disclutching, the possibility for clutching again may not exist. Here, with unclutching, you move out. But to unite again, whenever is required. Continuously, you are clutched to your body, to your mind, to your emotions, with so many things. Now, I can say even with your Facebook identity, Twitter identity, even with your Twitter name, you identify yourself, clutch yourself. With Facebook identity, you clutch yourself. You clutch yourself with thousands of things. The ideas your mind creates, the idea of joy, idea of pain, idea of pleasure, with so many things you clutch. Unclutching, even if it is practiced sincerely in a very small level, brings so much of awakening in you. Please understand, even very little level, if you can practice unclutching, it brings so much of awakening. Now I will give you a very simple, straight process of unclutching. When a thought rises in you, without supporting it, encouraging it, entertaining it, or being entertained by it, relaxing from it. Please understand. When a thought rises in you, without entertaining it and without being entertained by it, without encouraging it, without being excited by it, just relaxing. If you start relaxing from the thoughts which are rising, you will experience freedom from the identity which you created. Please understand. Experiencing freedom from the identity you created means healing thousands of wounds you are carrying inside. Millions of possibility for pain, suffering you are carrying inside. Constantly you create shaft of thoughts with thoughts of pain, joy, pleasure, shaft of thoughts. Please understand. The center, each block is an independent thought. Mind as it happens is already unclutched. But unfortunately, you pick up from the independent thoughts and create your own short view about yourself. Very narrow idea about your life. You don't look at your mind as it is happening. You don't look at your life as it is happening. One of the biggest achievement I feel pride and happy is whenever I look back about my past, I don't have any idea about it. I neither feel it was always joyful, nor feel it was always painful, and no feeling at all. Please understand, gift of not feeling your past as a chain of joy or chain of pain. Because I do not feel my past as a chain of pain or chain of joy, I just know my future is also free, just like my past. But unfortunately, every human being tries to develop an idea about their past as pain or pleasure. Please understand, one of the biggest danger in the life is when you believe something and repeat it again and again, that becomes your reality. Please understand, whatever you repeat again and again and again becomes your reality. That is why again and again I am insisting, don't repeat your life as a pain. Don't write your biography as a long pain shaft. No, because if you repeat your life as a long pain shaft, you will project the same pain shaft on the future also. When you look deep, you will see each pain you claim happened in your life is an individual incident. When you connect all of them and see, you create tremendous suffering for yourself. Unclutching is a powerful, self-sufficient guide to your enlightenment, to upgrade your consciousness. Please understand, unclutching can be self-sufficient guide to your enlightenment, to upgrade your consciousness. Unclutching not only changes the way you perceive the reality, it transforms the reality itself. Please understand, not only it changes the way you perceive reality, it changes reality itself, because it is a very powerful process, touches the source where the perceiver and perceived both come out. There are many methods, techniques which works only on the seer, not the seen. Unclutching, it's a technique which works on the source from which seer and seen both comes out. Unclutching is the ultimate meditation technique. It can directly upgrade your consciousness. Please understand, purpose of the human life is to upgrade your consciousness. Temples, rituals, religions, sacred books, everything is just for upgrading your consciousness, raising your consciousness. The very reason of your human body, existence of your human body, is to raise your consciousness. See, when your consciousness raises, automatically you become leader of your life, Lord of your life. You become God for yourself, Ishvara for your life. Becoming Ishvara of your own life is the basic necessity for every human being. You need to become Lord of your life. You need to raise your consciousness. Unclutching liberates you instantaneously. Immediately. This one process is enough. It is self-sufficient for whether you are a beginner or professional seeker or about to get enlightened. Unclutching is a complete technique for you. If you have problems related to your health, unclutch. If you have problems related to your wealth, unclutch. If you have problems related to your mind and the mental health, unclutch. If you have problems related to your relationships, unclutch. If you have problems related to your emotions, unclutch. If you have problems related to your consciousness, again the solution is unclutch.
Pratyaksha Pada Puja. Offer your gratitude to the lotus feet of Paramahamsa Nithyananda. Pratyaksha Pada Puja is a rare opportunity in a lifetime to express your surrender and gratitude directly at the feet of the Master, daily at 7 a.m. Indian Standard Time. You can register for e-Pada Puja online and you can receive individual darshan and blessings after the puja. You can send your blessings request at ntv.nithyananda.org or call 91-97422-03311. Make the best use of this rare opportunity to be in the space of the living enlightened Master.
Two important things to understand how the unclutching brings better health or the healing effect in our body. Not only the yoga, even the medical science says constantly your body not only rejuvenates, replaces itself. Biology says once in every year, once in a year, your liver is replaced. Not a single cell is the old same cell. Every cell is replaced. Your intestine is constantly replaced. Your blood is constantly replaced. Your bones are constantly replaced. Your bone marrows are constantly replaced. You are constantly replacing you. This is the first truth. The second truth, which is important truth, again proved not only by yoga, even by biology, medical science, your mind creates your body. Your mind creates your body. In the modern day, many scientific studies are proving your mind is creating your body. The other day I was reading a beautiful book, Biology of Belief. The author is a great doctor and does a lot of scientific research. He says Your body is not just controlled by DNA or cells as you are taught. It is controlled. Even the DNA and cells are controlled by your beliefs, faiths, and positive and negative emotions. You are created by your mind. Understand these two truths. You are created by your mind. Your body is created by your mind, and your body constantly replaces itself. If you carry the same mind, you will carry the same disease and reproduce it in your new body also. If you understand these two statements, your mind creates your body. The second truth, your body constantly replaces itself. Now you can understand the third statement. If you carry the same mind, same shaft, you will reproduce the same disease or the same problem in the new body also. So be very clear. If you understand you are unclutched, if you realize the truth that you are unclutched, unconnected, independent, illogical thoughts, you will stop carrying the same old identity and mind within you. When you stop carrying the same identity, the same mind, you will stop reproducing the same disease in the new body. You will stop reproducing the same pains, same depression, same difficulty, same disease in the new bodies which your nature is creating. If you are unclutched, you will allow your body to heal from the disease which you are already having, and you will create a new body, new system which will be more immune, energetic, alive. Constantly, by bringing the same old mind, by clutching ourselves with our past, we are bringing the same diseases into the body. We are not allowing the body to heal itself. We are not encouraging the body to rejuvenate and replace itself. The body, by its very nature, constantly replacing itself. We are stopping the healing process by clutching, connecting to our past. Almost all mental problems related to desires, related to guilt, related to addiction, related to fear, related to depression, every mental problem can be addressed with this single truth that you are unclutched. All the depression is nothing but carrying, clutching all those low moods and creating the shaft of depression. For example, the low mood which you suffered 10 years ago, the low mood which you suffered 8 years ago, the low mood which you suffered 9 years ago, the low mood which you suffered 7 years ago, the low mood which you suffered 6 years ago, they are all unconnected, independent, illogical, unclutched experiences happened in your life. When you connect all of them, clutch and see them as a shaft. Oh, my life was depression. You created hell for you. The moment you start believing you are depressed being, you will create more and more incidents, more and more arguments, more and more data to prove your judgment, to prove your understanding. Then naturally you will label yourself as a depressed being. Understand? All our mental problems, whether it is related to addiction or depression or low mood, everything is directly connected to this clutching. If you understand this single truth, the ultimate technique, by your very nature, you are unclutched. I've seen in Indian forests, hunters catching birds. They'll catch the birds. There will be one small stick hanging in a rope. The stick will be very balanced, just like this, equal, this side and that side, the same weight and length the stick will be. Like, there will be rope like this tied, and the stick will be hanging. When birds come, they'll try to sit one side. The moment they sit one side, suddenly the tip and the stick will become topsy-turvy, upside down, because of one side weight. It will become just upside down. It will just become topsy-turvy. Understand, the moment the stick has become upside down, the bird which is holding will completely get imbalanced and shaken. Now this guy starts thinking, if I leave, I'll fall and break my head and die. If I let go the stick now, I'll fall and break my head and die. He will be just hanging, trying to flutter his wings, trying to shake, trying to move, trying to bring that stick to balance, trying to straighten that stick. No. Nothing will happen. Never it will happen. All our practice, trying to create silence and balance through wealth, or peace and balance through some other practice, everything is equal to the trials and the things which this bird is trying to do. Fluttering the wing, balancing. The fluttering the wing can be having more cars and houses. Trying to balance the stick can be more like some japa or meditation or some spiritual practice, some techniques. Trying its best, nothing will happen. This guy will be hanging. Slowly that hunter will come and catch the bird very slowly and put it in the cage and go. All you need to understand is you are never in bondage, you will never fall and die, just let go. If the bird just opens, it can fly. It can just fly. The hunter is death. Till death comes, you are hanging, swinging and trying to balance the stick. All your fluttering, you always think, if I let go and become so easy, I may die, means I may fall and break my head, means I may lose my wealth, I may lose my mind, I may lose my balanced life, I may lose this, I may lose that. No! There is no history anytime a bird falling and dying. Same way, there will never be a history if you relax from all the things you are holding, you will lose your wealth or health or life or miss anything. You won't miss anything, whatever you have. At the most, when that bird lets go that stick, it takes 2-3 seconds for the bird to balance and start flying. At the most, you may need 2-3 months to balance and start flying. That 2-3 months, having the patience and balancing is what I call tapas. That is what I call tapas. Living enlightenment. Understand, we are all hanging. Just open up. Let go. Whatever you are holding, in your mind as bondage and whatever thought you think as bondage. Whatever you think is associated with bondage or suffering, as you think, let go. Let go. You may think, I may have to let go my job. Don't bother. Let go. You will never miss your wealth. The moment you are balanced, you will start working out of your creativity. You will start expressing out of your strength. You will start expressing out of your joy. It is not that the person who is flying is not working. No. Paramahamsas are not lazy. They express the honest freedom and creativity. Having the trust that you can express that creativity and strength is what I call bhakti. You need only Atma Bhakti. Means having the trust towards yourself that you can also express that creativity. You can also express that freedom. That is bhakti. And opening, letting go the stick is tyaga, and balancing and flying is courage. That's all need to happen in our system. Anything, if you feel there is nothing really I am holding on, then wonderful, listen to these words. It will go deep and do the work of awakening the non-mechanical parts of your brain. If you still able to find out you are holding on to something, then relax. If you are holding on to something, relax. If you have nothing to hold on, then imbibe, listen to these words, let the process happen. Understand, all you need to do is just let go and fly. You will be a Paramahamsa.
Sacred Art Store. Nithyananda's Sacred Art Store. A storehouse of spiritual products from Vedic culture. Find all your needs for yogic body, Vedic mind and N living. A one-stop shop for spiritual products and gifts. www.sacredartsstore.com or email us sales@ngalleria.com.
Nine different levels of unclutching. First, unclutching from your outer world means when you have problems related to name, fame, money, if you unclutch, please understand, I am not saying you need to lose that money, name and fame. No. You will lose the problems and suffocations and stress, sufferings created in you because of money, name and fame. When the problems, suffocation, stress is removed, suddenly you have a pure inner space where you can create whatever you want in the outer world. Understand? Biggest asset any human being can have is free inner space, extra inner space. Whenever I give energy darshan to people, I just give them few hundred more acres of inner space, that's all. Extra inner space is the ultimate wealth. Wealth is not the billions of dollars you have, or the relationships you have, or the bungalows, properties you have. The real wealth is extra inner space you have. The space you have inside, free space, in which You can do your creativity. You can do your creation. That extra free inner space is the real wealth. When you unclutch from the difficulties, stress, sufferings, suffocation created by money, name and fame, you achieve that ultimate wealth, extra free inner space. Second, unclutch from the outer world identities. The identities you carry, social identity, professional identity, racial identity, national identity. Sometimes you think you identify yourself based on your religion, your country, your race, your caste, your community, your creed. Please understand, this racial identity, national identity is responsible for millions of people dying every year in the planet Earth. World's worst terrorist on the planet Earth is racial and national identity. Please understand, largest number of deaths on the planet Earth is caused by racial and national identity. The moment you feel you belong to certain geography, you are ready to sacrifice your life for that geography. People die, especially youngsters. Millions die in the war fields. And without any guilt, without any even second thought, people kill people just because their national identity. Identity you create because of your geography. I tell you, most uncivilized act is killing people because of your racial and national identity. It is so unfortunate still human beings have not evolved from that low conscious of killing people, destroying people because of racial and national identity. Same way, the racial identity is responsible for all religious and communal terrorism. Unclutch from social, professional, racial, national identities, you will see so much of peace, joy, bliss happening in you. Universal intelligence awakens in you the moment you unclutch from low-level identities. The moment you unclutch from racial, national identities, immediately the universal intelligence awakens in you. Third, unclutching. Unclutching from thoughts, verbalization and visualization happening inside. Please understand, unclutching from thoughts means the verbalization and visualization happening inside. When you look in, the verbalization happening, the visualization happening in you are all thoughts. Unclutch from both. Continuously try to unclutch from both. You will see extraordinary powers expressing in you when you start unclutching from your verbalization and visualization. You will become yogi. Understand, living as a yogi is life. Unclutch from verbalization and visualization. Whenever you remember, the verbalization happening in you constantly, the words moving, or the visualization happening in you, the ideas happening in you, unclutch from that. Even the boredom, feeling bored, restless, is also one more thought, one more verbalization, one more visualization. Unclutch even from that. And fourth level of unclutching. Unclutch from your emotions, pain and pleasure. Let me tell you from my own experience. When I fell from the horse during the horse riding and fractured my hand, just all I need to do is unclutching from that pain. I could see very clearly body was healing at least 5 times more faster than normal speed of healing. When you unclutch from pain and pleasures, not only you are free from it, even your health improves drastically. Fifth, unclutching. Unclutching from the inner world identities like parental conditioning, ahankara and mamakara. Ahankara means the idea you project about yourself to others. Mamakara means the idea you believe about you as you inside you. See, always the idea you project to others about you will be more than what you are. Mamakara, the idea you believe about you in the inner self is always lower than you. Idea you project on others, an idea you project on yourself. This ahamkara and mamakara your whole life is nothing but the fight between the ahankara and mamakara. Means the identity you project in the outer world and the identity you believe as you in the inner world. Unclutch from inner world identities, both the identities. Unclutch from the identity you project to the outer world, unclutch from the identity you believe as you in the inner world. Sixth level of unclutching. Unclutch from the biomemories. Means the very patterns you are carrying. Pattern of depression, pattern of pain, pattern of irritation, patterns of suffering, patterns of your own ideas. If you unclutch from the patterns to the extent till you realize there is no patterns in reality. In reality, you are alone. In reality, you are just existing. Kevala. Next, unclutch from body. Unclutch from body itself. Please understand. When you unclutch from your body, thousands of disorders you create by yourself, like arthritis, blood pressure, all this completely disappears. The seventh level of unclutching is unclutching from body. And eighth level of unclutching, unclutching from the idea of time. Unclutch day, night, morning, evening, midnight. Go on unclutching. Unclutch from the idea of boredom, feeling restless. Unclutch from the idea of time. I tell you, time is the greatest myth you are carrying in your life. That is the worst conditioning you are carrying. Actually, there is no such thing as time. Sun rises and sets, moon rises and sets, stars move, planet moves, life moves. That's all. Where is time? You rise, live, disappear. That's all. Where is time? Time is one of the myths like a clothes. You forget human body does not come with clothes. How many of you remember? I tell you, none of us remember. Human body comes to planet Earth without clothes, goes out without clothes. We think human body comes with clothes and goes with clothes. Just like a cloth, cloth is the illusion which has become part of your biomemory. Time is an illusion which has become part of your very consciousness itself. So unclutch from the idea of time. Ultimately, the 9th level of unclutching, unclutching from the very idea I. Unclutch from that very idea I. In every level of unclutching, in every aspect of unclutching, you will experience some new free dimension of you. You will experience some extraordinary experiences or expressions. I tell you, all the auspicious things of life and beyond life is achieved just by this one process, unclutching. Just by this one technique, unclutching. Just this one technique, unclutching. These 9 levels of unclutching. The 9th level is unclutching from the very idea I. The I. The very idea I is the source of everything you experience, you perceive. Unclutching from that very source, the idea of I. You can start in these 9 levels, any one level. Just like 9 levels of unclutching, I wanted to introduce 3 kinds of unclutching. Unclutching from the luxury activities, like activities may not be required for your life, which you do as a luxury, playing video games, luxury activities. Second, unclutching from existential activities. Means for your existence, you start doing many activities like going to your office, your profession. When I say unclutch, I don't mean you will stop those activities. Your body will be performing those activities. The sufferings and the stress caused by those activities will not be there in your body. That's all. In your being. Third, unclutching from the survival activities. Even the basic survival activity like a food, eating, sleeping, unclutching, even from those things. When you unclutch from the survival activities, please understand, I am not saying you will stop eating, you will stop drinking. No. All I am telling you is, you will live in unclutched space. Your body may continue the activities necessary for survival. Unclutching is the greatest life solution. Unclutching liberates you from all types of addictions. Unclutching is the most simple and ultimate technique. How much ever you hear about unclutching, unless you experience it, you will not know about it. I sincerely urge, inspire, encourage all of you to experience unclutching at least 20 minutes a day in the beginning level. From today, sit unclutched at least 20 minutes a day. You will see within next few days, unclutching helps you so much. It frees you from so many sufferings. It makes you matured so many ways. It upgrades your consciousness so much. You will start spending more and more time in unclutched space. Ultimately, your whole life will be in unclutched space. Unclutching makes you a leader, because when you unclutch, trillions of cells in your brain are awakened. Your highest inner potential energy, dormant cosmic energy, awakens to its peak. Unclutching is inner awakening. Unclutching is samadhi. Unclutching is meditation. Unclutching is inner guru. Unclutching is God itself. Unclutching is a subject. Subject need to experience this subject. In ordinary life, objects are experiencing the subject. In unclutching, subject need to experience the subject objectively. Without bringing peace to you, which is foundation of your world, you try to bring peace to everything. Being peaceful within means being in completely unclutched space of the restful awareness, space internally, and taking more and more responsibility and being productive externally. Please understand. Let me define peace. Understand? I am defining peace. Peace means being at ease internally and responding to the world in a most efficient way and being most productive to the humanity. If you wish to authentically make a difference and bring peace to the world, you must first bring peace yourself within. Being peaceful within means being in completely unclutched space, or the restful awareness space, internally, and taking more and more responsibility and being productive externally. Responding to yourself and to the world most efficiently is peace. When you are not transferring the stress and load created by one thought to the other thought and carrying that load constantly. Please understand, usually you transfer the load and the stress you create by one thought to the other thought, and when you are constantly transferring those emotions to the next thought, your inner space becomes insensitive, loaded with so much of emotions, it naturally sinks into depression, restlessness, boredom, all the negative emotions. When you can unclutch, unclutching is not connecting one thought and the other thought and carrying the same stress and emotions. When you unclutch, you stop carrying the stress and negative emotions from one thought to the other thought. And when you don't carry that stress, suffering, negativity, pressure, restlessness from one thought to the other thought, naturally you experience peace inside. There are different levels of peace. Peace at the level of self, being in the restful awareness zone at all times, being unclutched within, is peace at the level of self. Please understand, every human being has a birthright for the peace within. The peace at the level of self is a birthright of every human being, and everyone should do it. Everyone should have this peace to experience life while you are living. Please understand. Experience peace while you are living. Having peace at the level of self is your responsibility. Not only your right, your responsibility. Second, peace at the level of family. Being unclutched and matured in your relationships and executing your responsibility towards your family and relationships. Understand, peace at the level of family, I am defining. Being unclutched in your relationships and executing your responsibility towards your family and relationships. Every householder, person who has a family, is responsible for his family's peace. Even if you are not the head of the family, please understand, it is not that always only head of the family is responsible for the peace of the family. No. every person who is part of the family is responsible for the peace of the family. Third, peace at the level of community. Being unclutched in the way you relate with your community, taking up the responsibility towards your community, and performing actions that radiate responsibility. Understand? I am defining peace at the level of community. Being unclutched in the way you relate with your community, taking up responsibility towards your community, and performing actions that radiate responsibility. I tell you, when you unclutch, so much of your inner space will be freely available to you. You will have so much of inner space freely available to you. You will be able to do so many creative things, radiating responsibility. When each individual is established in being unclutched at the level of self, naturally he will create the peace at the level of family, then at the level of community, and it will expand to the level of society. Naturally, peace has to start happening at the level of nation and the whole civilization itself. If you do this unclutching as a continuous practice, not only you will be successful, you will not have any conflict. Don't bother at all. Don't worry at all. Only when you don't unclutch, there will be so much of conflict. See, conflict is nothing but too many thoughts trying to get connected to one source at the same time. Unclutching is nothing but connecting too many thoughts to the same source one by one. Unclutching works on time. When it works on time, all your thoughts will be connected to same source, but there will be time gap, so that the emotion from one thought to the other thought is not carried as it is without getting nullified. Please understand, when you unclutch, the emotion is not transferred from one thought to the other thought in the same vigor. It is like you don't inherit the diseases and karmas of your parents. See, every thought, your earlier thought is the parent for this thought. If this receives the karmas, the loaded emotions and diseases of the earlier thought, it inherits the same old sufferings and karmas and diseases. Here, when you are doing the unclutching, it's like you doing inner awakening. The moment you go through inner awakening, your inherited karmas and DNA setup or the disease, everything is broken, destroyed. Same way, every moment when you go through the unclutching, your every thought goes through inner awakening. It does not inherit the load of the past, the suffering of the past, DNA, the mental setup, karma, patterns of the past. It doesn't inherit. So I tell you, every moment you unclutch, you are awakened to the fresh energy. You are awakened to the fresh being. every moment of unclutching, your mind goes through an inner awakening. Please understand, while you are unclutching, the complete balancing of prana happens in you. You may need more exhaling for your prana balancing. Sometimes you need more prana inside. If there is more exhaling, then more prana will be naturally inhaled, pumped inside. Unfortunately, because your exhaling is shallow, your inhaling also becomes shallow. When your inhaling is shallow, the quantity and the quality of prana comes in, reduces. That reduces the awareness and the vital actions of the brain comes down. That is why I insist so much on this long breath. Long breath is ajapa-japa, long breath is unclutching, long breath is yoga, long breath is pranayama, long breath is enlightenment, long breath is God Himself. When you are unclutching, if the breath goes out on its own and leading to a stage of gasping for breath, don't worry, it is perfect. Your prana and samana is getting balanced. Samana or prana getting balanced never happens without pranayama other than unclutching. Unclutching is the only key which can balance samana, prana, everything. It can create the physiology and psychology for you to achieve enlightenment and make sure you reach enlightenment.
The whole thing, whatever problem you have, can be solved with this one key. Because your whole thing, whatever problem you have, everything is just because of one reason. That interpreting based on past conditioning leads to misconception or wrong understanding. Please understand. All your fear, all your greed, all the things which you think as your identity, all your worries, whatever you think as disturbance, misfortune in your life can be sorted out with this one understanding. If you look with a little sympathy, little compassion, and compassion towards this moment will completely open a new door. You will have a new understanding. When you don't have compassion to this moment, you always judge this moment with your past experience. Please understand. I am giving you a new key. Have compassion towards this moment. Have compassion towards sympathy, towards present moment. We never have a compassion towards present moment. We are always violent with the present moment. That is why we kill it with the past. We kill the present moment with the past. We are constantly waiting for present moment to come so that you can kill it with your past. You can destroy it with your past. You can abuse it with your past. Abusing the present with the past is what I call hell. Continuously we torture, we disturb the existence by killing the present moment. Please understand. The eternity comes in front of you, presents itself to you in the present moment. You can touch the eternity only by touching the present moment. You can see very clearly, you can't touch the past, you can't touch the future. You can touch the eternity only by touching the present moment. The present moment is the only way you can connect with the eternity. But when you don't connect with the present moment, If you are constantly torturing it with your past, you are creating misconception, wrong understanding. Sometimes we are strongly stuck with the wrong understanding, with the wrong concepts. Unclutched from what is outer world, feeling connected with what is inner. Set. That is what I can say as Upanishad, the ultimate setting. Just unclutching or just feeling connected is only two different parts. Unclutching from the unnecessary things, feeling connected to the highest possibility. This is what I call Upanishad. Upanishad is more deeper than Zazen. In Zazen, you sit unclutched. In Upanishad, you melt also with the feeling connection.
Ingenious! Your child learns and experiences the true science of Vedic tradition. Notice a measurable increase in your child's performance. Daily yoga and powerful meditations. Innovative art processes based on life solutions. Activities that bring Vedic culture to life. For more information and registration, email us at ngenius@nithyananda.org or visit www.innerawakening.org.
Constantly, we are struggling, we are suffering with memory. When it comes to outer world, knowing how to handle more and more. When it comes to inner world, knowing how to unclutch more and more. I can say, from my own experience, the more you unclutch, more memories are available to you without disturbance. When you learn the technique of unclutching, the quantity of memory available to you, the quality to retrieve, both are just, I can say, increased, not few persons, not in the percentage level. It just explodes, maybe few hundred times. In your hard disk, in your computer, if you store high resolution pictures, you can store only few pictures. And retrieving also takes too much of time. You will have to be sitting with the clock, wait. Retrieving is also too difficult. Only you can store only few, and retrieving is also difficult. It takes time. But if everything is Word document in your hard disk, you can store a lot. Retrieving also will be very easy. How to make high resolution pictures which are there in your hard disk into a Word document? That is the whole technique. See, what is high resolution picture? Inside your hard disk, the pictures which are too much affecting you, disturbing you emotionally, which are stored inside you with a lot of emotional connections. That is what is high resolution picture. High resolution picture means which are taking too much of your inner space. For example, your relationships, even remembering once, a strong emotional connection, love or hatred. So much of your inner space is occupied by that person's picture. The moment you remember the person, you can see 1,000 thoughts about that person will come up. Whether love or hatred, 1,000 thoughts will come up. Means high resolution picture. If you can store files without emotional attachment, the ability to store and ability to retrieve both are tremendously increased. That is what I am saying. If you can constantly unclutch from memories, everything is converted into a Word document. All high-res pictures are in the form of Word document. If you are constantly clutched, even Word documents become high-resolution pictures. Even Word document becomes high-resolution picture. Your hard disk is full just with few documents. See your life. That is what is happening. If you have lot of clutched memories, even little memory is enough to bring pain, suffering, torture to your life. A normal middle class man is tired just by handling 10-12 relationships. If he handles just 10-12 relationships in a day, he is tired. You can see, morning 9 o'clock you go and sit in the office, by 11, if you handle 10-12 people, you have shoulder pain, you are stressed out. And another one big problem, we have all these negative words inside us as a strong high-res pictures. I am burnt out. Too much is in my plate. I can't do further. The whole secret is how to convert high-res pictures into Word document. The secret is unclutch. Whenever high-res pictures are getting downloaded, whenever you are stressed, you see that wait time is what I call stressed moments. High-res pictures are getting flooded inside your system. Use those moments to unclutch. Again and again, unclutch. Whenever the pain or pleasures related to emotions, related to memories are happening, unclutch, unclutch, unclutch. If you actually unclutch more and more from the memories inside, the essence, juice of those memories will become part of you. People ask me mainly, if we don't remember our past mistakes, how are we going to develop ourselves? Please understand. By constantly remembering your past mistakes, you will only create guilt. You will not develop yourself. But by unclutching from your past memories, you will assimilate the essence, experience of the mistakes. Please understand. Learning from the past means assimilating. Experience does not mean the number of incidents you go through in your life. It means number of lessons you learned from those incidents. That learning, assimilation itself happens only when you unclutch. Otherwise, you yourself will suspect about you. You may remember, may not trust if you are clutched with your memories. Unclutching assimilates. See, there are so many things goes on in your life. So many mistakes you do in your life. Remembering those mistakes are no way going to make you rich. It's only going to create more and more guilt. More and more guilt. No. That is no way going to help you. But unclutching from those memories, suddenly you will see the lessons which you need to learn are assimilated inside you. You are fresh. The juice is already part of becoming your life. The juice which you need to learn from that incident is digested. It has become part of your life by unclutching. You don't have to remember the incident itself. Only thing you need to happen is you need to update yourself from the lessons. You need to upgrade yourself from the lessons. That happens only if you can look into the memory face to face. Many times, you don't want to look into the past incidents or mistakes face to face because it creates so much of pain. Then you try to remember that incident, but unconsciously you are trying to forget the same incident. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. One part of you want to remember the incident so that you will not do the same mistake. The other part of your mind says it doesn't want to remember the incident. So in that struggle you are caught. When you remember the incident itself, you may not be able to update yourself because the incident itself may have joy or memory, joy or pain associated with it. If it is joy, you will start rejoicing. You will just start mentally fantasizing. So whether you want, even if you remember with joy or remember with pain, it is not going to add to you. But unclutching, please understand, unclutching from both memories is going to add juice to you. It is going to add juice to you. Each memory, when you unclutch from it, when you relax from it, what needs to happen automatically happens inside you. The classification automatically happens inside you. Please understand. If you want to remember something, all you need to do is just for a few moments unclutch. If you are not unclutched, if you are clutched, any simple memory can lead to more and more suffering, more and more torture, more and more disturbance and distraction. The essence I wanted to share with you when it comes to external world, memory is perfectly all right. It pays your bills. It brings you paycheck. It makes you productive. It makes you part of civilization. It makes you feel comfortable with outer world. Perfectly all right. But when it comes to the inner world, constantly try to unclutch. Try to be in the zone of beyond memory. Please understand, not below memory. I am not asking you to be absent-minded. No. I am not asking you to be absent-minded. Many times we start being in the level of absent-mindedness and we think that is the solution. No. Many times being absent-minded we think as unclutching. No. That is not solution. You may be get used to be there, but that is not going to be solution. Being above mind. Unclutching will put you above the mind. Unclutching will put you above the mind. With unclutching, two things will happen. You will remember whatever need to remember and you will be able to forget whatever need not be remembered. The big problem with our life, very big problem with our life is whenever solution is told, one part of you feel good, yes, great solution. One part of you says, no, I don't think it is going to work out for me. I don't think it is going to work out for me. We always have this confusion. If you have the confusion, it may not work out for me. Just experiment for next few days. All I am asking you is experiment with this idea of next 10 days. Constantly try to unclutch. Try to unclutch. Unclutch means not connecting with your memory. Not connecting with your memory. Whenever thoughts rise, remember to unclutch and relax. Remember to unclutch and relax. Then naturally your mind will say, I am unclutching, unclutching, unclutching. Unclutch from that idea also. And relax. You may say, then what should I do? Unclutch from that idea also. You may feel bored. Unclutch from that idea. Again and again come back to the silence which is inside you. First time when you unclutch, 2 minutes, 2 seconds you may be silent. Then again a thought will rise. Again unclutch. Then 3-4 seconds you may be silent. Again a thought will rise. Again unclutch. Then few more seconds you may be silent. Again unclutch. By more and more time you unclutch, the number of times you are unclutching is increased. The gap between the thoughts will increase. After 25-30 times of unclutching, suddenly you will see the gap between one thought and the other thought will become 10-20 seconds. Relax into that gaps is what I call living enlightenment. Living enlightenment. Relaxing into that gap. Resting into that gap. Living inside that gap. Not being affected by the memory. Not being disturbed by the memory. Not being disturbed by the good news and the bad news which is brought to your inner space. See, your inner space is such, constantly your memory tells some good news and bad news. That's your life. Your life is nothing but a chain of good news and bad news you receive from your memory. Nothing else. So unclutch from your good news and bad news. The good news and bad news which constantly comes up, unclutch from it. See what happens to your system. See the intelligence awakening in your system. You will see the ultimate intelligence gets awakened in your system. The ultimate pure energy starts flowing inside your inner consciousness.
Books by Paramahamsa Nithyananda in the true spirit of Vedic tradition. More than 250 books of Paramahamsa Nithyananda are now available online for free. Access free library at lifeblissprograms.org/books.
Ability to convince your inner space you are going to do this forever is what you need to learn. Committed and intense practice of unclutching makes one firmly established in a higher state of awareness. Decide you are going to be unclutching forever. The moment you decide you are going to be unclutching forever, you will be unclutched this moment. Because your mind knows this is going to be its routine. See, your mind thrives with changes and or hope for a change. In the world there are different kinds of knowledge. There are some kind, just by listening to that knowledge, you will have benefit of it. There are some kind of knowledge, if you have access to it whenever you need, you will have benefit out of it. Some knowledge, just by listening, once understanding, you will have benefit. Some, you need to again and again work with it. You need access to that knowledge to have benefit. There are some knowledge, only when you practice, you will have benefit. Spiritual knowledge is the third type. You need to practice, live, practice, no other way. People come and ask me, is there any shortcut, Swamiji? I tell them the one and only shortcut is practice, practice, practice. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. The shortest way is being straight. Practice, nothing else. If you want the transformation, practice is the only way. How much ever you hear, how much ever you talk, how much ever you discuss, nothing can be done. Only one way, practice. And clearly telling your mind you are going to practice eternally. With unclutching, as long as you have a hope, you can stop unclutching at certain point. Your mind will continue to exist, waiting for that point. The moment you decide, no, I am going to unclutch forever, suddenly your mind disappears. It loses its power over you. Actually, when you decide the practice is eternal, suddenly the whole thing gets unclutched and practice ends there. When practice ends, there will be nobody to practice. As long as there is somebody inside you to practice, practice. Till then, unclutching continues. So, continue your unclutching till the unclutcher disappears into unclutching.
Let you all achieve, experience, live, express, radiate, share and explode in eternal bliss. Nithyananda.
Nithyananda Dhyanapitham, Nithyananda Nagar, off Mysore Road, Bidadi, Bangalore, 562109. Contact 09742203311. www.nithyananda.org. www.youtube.com/lifeblissfoundation.
Welcome to Inner Awakening, the most powerful personal transformation retreat you could ever experience. In just 21 days, thousands are already experiencing the shortest route to constantly high energy levels, visible anti-aging, healing of chronic diseases, fulfilling relationships, and higher states of consciousness. What is the secret behind this transformation?
Kundalini means the inner potential energy. Once it is awakened, opens the different doors for the conscious experience in you. I can say which is a master key for all extraordinary spiritual experiences.
This extraordinary program is conducted personally by Paramahamsa Nithyananda in the vibrant atmosphere of Nithyananda Dhyanapitham Ashram. Open yourself to the benefits of Nitya Yoga and practical meditation. Experience physical and mental healing. Discover simple ways to handle life with success. Above all, enjoy individual darshan and blessings from Paramahamsa Nithyananda every day. Take 21 days for yourself and carry home the transformation of a lifetime.